Hey guys, good morning. This is New York Dan for the Ben's Products channel. I am up super early with the birds today because very hot in New York. It's going to be probably 90 or higher today once things get going. So I'm up super early. Hopefully I'm not too tired to get this video to think coherently and do this thing. Reason of my video today, I have some exciting upgrade news for the 300D Mercedes. Getting back into Mercedes stuff again. Right now I have the 300D covered up, and I'm going to be changing out the engine in it and the transmission. I have another parts car, another 300D, and I have a 300SD 126 series with a engine in it that I think was recently rebuilt, and it was one of the best running Mercedes engines, Mercedes diesels that I've ever heard running. The problem is though, the car had some rust damage with it, and it was in a broken window. It was in terrible condition. I got the car for a really good deal, and I bought it probably like 10 years ago. And it's been sitting waiting for the project to commence. But here's where I'm going different on this. In one of my other updates I did, like in the wintertime or last year, I think I got toothpaste on me here or something. Anyway, okay, in one of my other updates, that's how professional my videos are here. Got to get to the point here. I was saying that I wanted to put in an overdrive transmission, right? A Chevy 700R4. Because the problem is, when I take trips or highway drive in the 300D turbo diesel, the thing is screaming away like a banshee. At freaking 70 miles an hour, the thing is going 3,000 RPM. If I'm not mistaken, it's been a while since I've had that car actually driving. So the overdrive transmission is a great idea. However, it required a kit to attach it to the Mercedes engine, the 617 engine, and it relocated the starter, if I'm not mistaken, possibly to the other side where it is now. And when I talked to the guys, I was worried about the fitment of the kit. I saw one other guy on YouTube made one of these, but he didn't really give any updates on it, and he didn't show how it fitted together. And that was on a 123 chassis, like a 240D. So the kit cost big bucks. I believe it's over $1,000 for the kit, and that's not even, then you need the transmission, which you got to buy separately. The point of this kit was to install this engine into like Jeeps or some kind of custom off-road vehicle, because the 617 diesel is such a good, reliable, legendary engine, 5-cylinder turbo diesel. So they actually have made these kits up if you want to reuse one of these engines in a different vehicle. Okay, so this is extremely complicated. I talked to one of the guys at the place, and he was like, listen, he was kind of getting annoyed with me even asking about this. He's like, we know how to make it fit. There's a way to do it. We could do it if you wanted to put that in. There's always a way to do it, which could involve like cutting the transmission tunnel out, or modifying the car itself. So this whole thing, thank God, well, you should always plan this stuff out and think about it before you just do it gung-ho. And it's a good thing I took my time on this, and I was worrying about this. I thought it over last year or whatever, and looked on YouTube and found other information. Okay, it turns out you can simply change the rear end differential gear in this car to a lower axle ratio that will bring the RPMs way down. Okay, now I don't know why Benz didn't do this in the first place. I think their philosophy was running at those higher RPMs, the turbo diesel stays spooled up. The turbo itself is spinning fast. You've got quick highway response at the expense of it being noisy and burning more fuel. I think these engines have enough power, especially with the way I jack the fuel pump up and stuff. And I have the turbo. Mine has a lot of power. I think this will work just fine. Okay, here's the key. After looking on YouTube, different videos, there's a guy on there, Mercedes Source, this guy Ken, who does a lot of diesel stuff with Mercedes. He put a different axle ratio into like a 240D or a 300D, I forget which, but he lowered it down just a little bit. He put a 2.84, I believe, in, and it came with a 3.07 originally. Now what that means is 3.07 revolutions of the drive shaft for 1 revolution of the tires. So he brought it down from 3.07 to 2.84. Now in 1985, the last year they made the 123 chassis, they did this from the factory. They shipped it with a 2.84 axle ratio. So they knew this was the way to go as they were trying to perfect things. Now I took it a step further. I went on eBay and I bought a axle that has a 2.24 ratio. This is going to bring my RPMs down from 3,000 RPM at 70 all the way down to like 2250 RPM, something like that at 70. Now this is aggressive, and it's going to be a real experiment to see how this works. Okay, now the first thing to start off with this project, based on what people said on YouTube and like that guy Kent and some discussion forums, they claim the differential out of it's called an R107 Mercedes. That's like the coupe, or possibly even a sedan with a V8, would have this lower ratio. And not only that, it would fit into the 300D as a bolt-on replacement, and the axle shafts fit in. Now I hope they're right about this, because I spent over $400 on this differential. I'm going to show it to you now, and I have a light set up by it. Okay, I got it on eBay, and the thing that's great about this, it came out of a car, they claim, with only like 40,000 miles on the car. Okay, here it is right here. Now what they say, it came out of an 85 500 SL Euro, 2.24 gears. Now, if anyone knows the difference between the European model and the American model, please let me know in the comments what would be different about this diff. I hope nothing. Now mine doesn't have all these bolts here. Hopefully my axles fit in there and there's no big surprises. By the way, if you have one of these, you can see right here the gear ratio is stamped on here. Right at the end it says 2. It's very hard to see though. Right down here it says right there, right here actually. Wait, which way am I going here? It says 224 on here somewhere. I don't know if I can get a better shot. So even with the cover on, you can see that number sticking out there. It would be on the lower left side of the differential. So let's hope this fits. Now if you look inside here, you will see there's a huge, I believe this thing is the differential gear. I don't know if they call the other thing the pinion, but you will see in here, down there, you see that gear? That's a lot bigger in the lower axle ratio gear sets. Now if I turn the input shaft, you will see the whole thing turn. And inside here are the actual differential gears that the axles plug into. But it's smooth. You can see the other gear in there turning too. Probably. Pretty smooth stuff. I mean, I believe it's low mileage because the if it was worn, when you do it back and forth, you would feel axle play in it. Now the cover, the only difference is, which I like, the cover has heat fins on it to help keep the axle cooler, and a little bit of a bulge here. It might hold a little more lubricant, but it's still got the same two bolts that the 300D uses in the back, and then these are the important things. This bolts into the carrier on the top. Now these cost a lot more money than the newer Mercedes differentials. They have a different mounting system. You need, if you get one of these, you need to get one that is, I believe, only up to 1985. Here's the input shaft. Now let's hope this bolt pattern, or the size of this, will bolt right up to the 300D drive shaft. So, oh, it's early in the morning, man. Hear the garbage train coming. So that's my project here. It's gonna be a challenge. This stuff's coming up soon on my channel, so please subscribe. Put the notifications on so you don't miss it. I'm not going to give you an exact time frame when I'm going to do this. One day at a time. You know, maybe also it would be better to do this when the weather gets cooler in New York, because this stuff is bad, man. And you know, I don't have my air conditioner in the garage or anything, and a lot of this is going to have to be done outside, doing these engine swaps and stuff like that. I'll show you my parts cars. I don't have them here at this location, so I can't just film them now. But I'll show you the engines, and I'm telling you, this is the best running Mercedes engine I've ever heard. Coming up, new videos to come. And by the way, I got another project coming up in my videos. You will not believe this. I ended up buying a W140 Mercedes 300 SD. And this was kind of crazy how it happened. A matter of fact, I was kind of filming a video about how it's a bad idea to buy this thing, and I had emailed the guy, or what did I do? I texted him, and the car was in the city in Queens, and I wanted the guy to drive out to a parking lot and meet me, like a little bit out on the island here. He wasn't being cooperative. He's like, no, I'm not catering. I'm trying to sell a car. And I was doing a video about it, and it was kind of a video about why you shouldn't buy a car from like Queens area or the city area. And I actually called up on the video. I called the guy up, and I ended up talking with the guy on the phone. It's completely crazy, and I ended up buying the damn car. So you'll be seeing that. That's going to be one of my collector cars for sure. I'm not buying it to sell. I'm buying it just for the channel and to have the car. It's really cool. So more films coming up on that. All right, guys. I think that should do it for this update. I'll see you in the next one.